Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to share with you guys this new holster that I got from Craft Holsters, made by Falco. This is my nicest holster, okay? Some really amazing craftsmanship. Let me take this thing off, show you guys. Some really fine leather work. And I've done some leather work myself, so I can really recognize some fine leather work when I see it. And it comes with the a 2-mag carrier. Okay, and the cool thing about this is you wear it on your body kind of like a vest, so it goes on pretty easy. The only thing you gotta be careful of is not to get your straps tangled up, because that will sometimes happen. So basically you want to make sure everything is is in line. Okay, it does have these bottom straps here that allow you to attach it to your belt. So basically it becomes a it also has a second function as suspenders, right? So now here's the thing, I normally don't wear suspenders. That's normally not how I would be carrying this. So I didn't really, I didn't want to bother attaching the suspenders. Plus I want to be able to take it on and off to show you guys. I got it for the SIG 2022, okay? So this is a full-size gun. I think it is a 40 caliber. Holds 12 rounds. Let me double check that. 12. Yep, 12 round magazine. So they will, if you do order this, they will tell you. They will ask you. They will ask you how many rounds your magazine holds, just so that they can make sure that it fits it. Now that's one of the things I noticed with Craft Holsters. A lot of their work is custom. So for example, from where this thing was. There's these little holes over here, right, where you can adjust the length of it. The way I got it, it was a little too high in my armpit, so I adjusted it. You've got these little rivet screws here, so basically I made it a little bit longer. Now I believe I'm pretty much at the max right now. I'm 5'10", so if you're somebody that's like 6'2", 6'3", you're definitely going to want to mention it to them so that they can give you longer straps, because otherwise this thing is it's not going to be longer. Now also, mind you, I am a pretty thick guy, right? So a lot of the strap that I'm using is because because like I said, I'm not a skinny guy. But if you're a tall and big guy, right? If you're a tall, thick guy, yeah, you're definitely going to need longer straps. So make sure you mention your height to them when you're ordering it. So like I said, this is my nicest holster. It's got some amazing, really nice craftsmanship on it. Let me take it off one more time so you guys can take a closer look at it. And I've done leather work myself. I've made holsters. In fact, I made that, right? So I can recognize really nice work when I see it. Now, one of the things I want you guys to be aware of is that if you buy this, aside from telling them what gun you have it for, what size mags it takes, okay, you're also gonna want to order this leather break-in kit, okay? I had to. It's like $10, okay? So you're gonna get this leather break-in kit. Craft Holster sells it, and what you do, they give you some instructions with this. Right, basically you spray it on the inside of the holster. They give you this little tool. You rub it around the inside, and then they got really good instructions here. And I'm the kind of guy who really doesn't like to read instructions, but the nice thing about these instructions is that there's only like 4 or 5 lines. So how many lines? 4 lines. So I really didn't mind reading it. So what you want to do is, let me put this down for a second. What you're going to do with the leather break-in kit, right, is you're going to apply it to the inside of the holster, especially around the edges and the corners. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the gun in a plastic bag, right, because you don't want to get that fluid on your gun. So you're going to wrap the gun in a thin plastic bag, and then you're going to put it in your holster. Don't apply any to this area here, because you want it to be able to go all the way in. You don't want this part here stretching. And then basically you're going to put that in there. You're going to leave this in your safe overnight, over 2 nights, and then the gun will stretch. I did the same thing with the mags, right? I took out the mags. I sprayed the inside of this, right? I wrapped the mags in a plastic bag, put these back in. Okay, pressed it all the way in. Right, again, wrap those also in a plastic bag, and I left it for for like 2 nights. Now I did this twice because I did it the first time. I left it for a couple nights. I tried it. I thought it was still a little snug, so I reapplied that solution, that spray, that leather break-in. I applied that a second time. The second time, I got this exactly where I want it, where I can come out, be able to get in and out of this holster. I use this strap here to put this in. So now this is a $250 holster. Okay, so this shoulder holster is not on the cheap side. This is like, if you buy this, you're buying a fine piece of leather here. If I was going to go to an interview, right, for a gun instructor, business, and I wanted to impress them, this is the holster I would wear. Okay, I would wear this holster. Yeah, I got my Kydex holster here. Everybody's got Kydex holster. That's not going to impress anybody. But a holster like this, that's going to impress people, right? So if you want to impress people, you get a holster like this. So what I really want to do here, though, is I want to use this opportunity to talk about how and where you would use this holster. So first thing I will say is that this holster basically attaches to your body, right? So it doesn't attach to your clothes. And the nice thing is, because here's the thing, if you're carrying a gun at your belt, I have found that I'm sort of limited to a certain size. Like this is the Shield 9. I really can't carry a gun bigger than this at my belt. It just sticks out too much. Or if I'm carrying it inside the waistband, it kind of digs in. I cannot sit in a car because the seats kind of wrap around. Okay, so when I sit in the car, okay, basically the seats wrap around. It's really hard. You got your seatbelt on. It's really hard to get to your gun. This is ideal for the professional driver. Okay, if you're a professional driver, whether that be like, let's say, maybe a professional, bodyguard, right? Because some people that do bodyguard work, they're the designated driver. Or even if you're like an Uber driver, and I know Uber's got rules against their people, carrying guns. But hey, I think that people's lives are more important than Uber rules. But that's besides the point. But this is an ideal holster for somebody that drives for a living. Okay, whatever your situation is. So what I want to talk about today is techniques for if you have to use your gun in a self-defense type of situation from inside a vehicle. I want to talk about the techniques that you would use that work really good with a shoulder holster like this Craft Holsters Falco holster. So, but first, before I even do that, let me just throw this jacket on. Because obviously, if you're going to be carrying this concealed, you're going to be wearing it with a jacket. So, it is going to, you're going to have to, wear something to cover this up if you intend to go concealed. So, you kind of, obviously in the fall and winter, you can wear a jacket. In the summertime, you kind of just have to, you have to decide if that's how you want to dress in the summertime. Now, you could, I don't know if you guys remember that old show, Miami Vice. They used to have like these thin jackets that they used to wear back in Florida, down in Florida back in the 80s. That might be a style of clothing that you might want to get into. But as you can see, obviously this covers this pretty good. You get to the gun like this, come out, boom. All right, so let's talk about, before we even get to using this in the car, since we're on the subject, let's talk about how you're going to practice at the range with this holster, okay? Because what you don't want to do is, let's say that's the direction that I'm shooting in, right? Let me take this off so you guys can see better what's going on. Let's say that's the direction that I got shooting. What you don't do, and what they're not going to allow you to do at the range, is take the gun over here, pull it out, point the gun at the guy next to you as you come around, okay? They're not going to allow you to do that. And that's one of the reasons, like when I became an instructor some 12 years ago, the NRA, because basically I took my certifications with the NRA, the NRA only taught their, personal protection classes with a strong side outside the waistband holster, because they wanted to make sure people weren't doing the motion that I just did. But there are techniques for practicing with a shoulder holster that you can use that will, where you don't have to point the gun at everybody, as you pull the holster out. So here's the deal. If I'm shooting in that direction, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, okay, I'm shooting that way. I'm going to turn my back, face the gun, right, in the direction that I want to be shooting in. Pull the gun out. Okay. Notice I'm keeping my elbow up, all right, because I don't want to point the gun into my arm. And then from here, see, the gun staying in the direction I want it to be in. All right, I'm going to come in, bang, 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 come back in. Right, gun stays pointed that way. Right, finger off the trigger, get the gun back in the holster. Now, the gun that I'm using here is the SIG 2022. Let me pull this out for you guys. Now, this is a double action, single action pistol, right? So as you can see, it's hammer fired, and I'm carrying it with the hammer down. At the moment, the only, basically, if you're going to be carrying a gun, like, if you're going to be carrying a gun in a shoulder holster, I recommend that either be single action, double action, or double action only. I don't recommend that you carry either a single action gun or a striker fired gun like a Glock in a holster like this, because here's the thing, it's leather. Like, yeah, right now, it would be perfectly safe, but over time, leather sometimes does collapse. It does weaken, and you don't want to get into a situation where the leather starts collapsing around over here where the trigger is, and then as you go to holster, it hits the trigger and it fires the gun. So until they come up with a design that has a piece of Kydex where the trigger guard is on the shoulder holster, if you're going to carry a gun in the shoulder holster, I recommend that you go double action, single action, like this, with the carrying with the hammer down, or double action only, right? All right, so one more time, let me show you guys that technique. So I want to be shooting in that direction, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my back, okay? I'm going to get to the gun. I'm keeping my elbow up, right? Pull the gun out. Gun stays in the direction I want it to be in, right? And then to reholster, I'm going to turn my body, put the gun in the holster, and then get the snap back in its place. Okay, so that's the technique that you can use to practice your holster drills at a two-dimensional range, where let's say you're only allowed to shoot in one direction. Let me demonstrate that for you guys now. Okay, so that's the direction I want to shoot in. I'm going to turn my back, point the gun where I want it to be pointed, keep my elbow up, get the gun out, come out, right? Come back over here, decock the gun, get the gun back in the holster. Okay, so that's the technique that we're going to use to practice on a two-dimensional range. We're going to keep the gun pointed in that safe direction, and we're going to rotate our body as we need to. Okay, so let's move on. The thing I really want to talk to you guys about, again, geared towards the professional driver. You're driving a car for a living. You're in a situation where you need to be able to defend yourself or defend somebody else. And this is an ideal holster for the professional driver. Now, aside from that, especially here in the United States, like last year, we had some riots around the country. We did have people attacking cars, so this might also be something that might benefit, people, just civilians, people that don't do security work, but are in a high-risk area, for being, let's say, carjacked, or basically, being attacked inside the car. This is also an ideal holster for that. So, here's I'm in the car seat over here. Okay, as you can see, because of the way the car seat typically wraps around, it's really hard to get down to to the gun that I would normally have inside the waistband. Okay, so this is a lot easier to get to. Okay, I'm lifting my elbow up, pull the gun out. All right, so here's the thing. From here, I can easily shoot to this side, all the way around, switch to the other hand here, come up. I can shoot all the way around to this side. So I can shoot all the way behind me. So I can shoot 360 degrees, right, or almost like 350 degrees, right? But I can go almost all the way around. I can lift myself up. I can actually get 360 degrees because I can point the gun at the tree behind me there. I can come all the way around, point the gun to the tree over there. So if you're a professional driver, you have to be really comfortable with this idea of transitioning left side, right side, that's you gotta practice this. This has to come natural to you, okay? This has to be a natural thing, okay? Now again, you never point the gun at your legs, right? Right? And then to reholster, you put it in like that, put your snap on. Okay? So, gun up, come up here, come up over there, come around this way. Okay? You can do a magazine change. So obviously if we're shooting immediately behind us in a vehicle, we have somebody attacking us from the back seat basically, okay? Which is a very rare situation, right? Basically you'd have to be like doing like prisoner transport or something really crazy like that, you know, to have to, you know, be shooting somebody at such a odd angle. But as you can see, you can do it with a shoulder holster, okay? Just by, you know, coming all the way around like that. Going around this way. I am really stretching myself here. I even hit the rim back there. Okay, so decock, put this in. So you can see how you can make that work. Now, I'm going to say one more thing with regards to if you're defending yourself from inside a vehicle. You know, if you're being attacked from the outside, okay, what you want to do is use your car to get away, okay? You know, your car is a much more powerful weapon than a pistol. So if you're being attacked, you know, you can use the vehicle to drive away, drive through the people that are trying to kill you. You know, so that's your first option. Now, if you're boxed in, right, and you have to shoot from inside your vehicle, a lot of times people will concern themselves with, you know, trying to shoot out the window, okay, or you know, or getting outside of the car to shoot. If you're in a position where you have to return fire, right, in a self-defense situation, the people shooting at you do not care about your windows. Likewise, you shouldn't care about your windows either. Okay, if you need to shoot at somebody, right, in order to defend your life, you shoot through your window. Okay, you don't pay any, you don't pay any regard to the window. Now, if you're shooting to the windows to the left and right of you, right, the door windows, as soon as you put one shot through those windows, the window's just gonna shatter. There's not gonna be a window there, so your second and third and fourth shot are not gonna have to go through the window. Now, if you're gonna be shooting through your front windshield, and that also applies to your rear window as well. Okay, if you're shooting through your windshield, right, the windshields are designed to be shatterproof. So once you fire through that, it's not gonna break. What we have seen in testing is that when you shoot through a windshield, right, from the inside out, the bullets tend to rise. Okay, they tend to skip up. So what you're gonna do is, like, let's say you're shooting at a man-sized target here, right? Instead of aiming here, you're gonna aim basically at the belt area, so that as the bullet goes through the window, it rises a little bit, you know, and it'll come a little bit higher. Now, the other thing to be aware of, if you have, you know, you can shoot continuously, if possible, through that same spot, right? Because what's going to happen is if you can put 2 or 3 shots in that same general area, you're going to start basically tunneling a hole through the window. So, you know, the first shot is going to go, you know, is going to go through the window. It'll deflect up a little bit, but the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth shot, you know, now they're going to be hitting less and less window as they're going through, and you're going to get less and less deflection. So, you know, there's a reason why we carry, you know, extra magazines, why we have, you know, 12-round magazines, 15-round magazines, so that you can put a lot of shots, you know, through things like windows if you need to. Okay, so you don't worry about trying to get out of your car and trying to like not shoot through the glass. The quickest, fastest thing for you to do will be to shoot through the glass. You know, very possible that there's going to already be incoming fire through your window, so it's kind of silly to be like, you know, hey, I'm going to try and not shoot my glass. Just shoot through the glass. Okay. Now, how about the sound? It's going to be really loud because all that noise is going to be echoing back on you. So here's the thing: if you're a professional driver, right, in a high-risk type of situation, You definitely want to be driving with goggles on right now. Obviously, I'd be using these because these are prescription glasses. But even if you don't wear glasses, you will wear your shooting glasses, right? Always, all the time, right? So you're always going to be wearing your glasses. This way, you don't get in that type of a situation. You don't get glass in your eyes. But even if you're not in the car, right? Because even let's say you get into some type of a gunfight in the hallway or something. You know, if you get hitting sheetrock and stuff, and wood's getting hit around you, you can get like wood splinters and sheetrock in your eyes. So you always want to have protective eyewear if you're in a high-risk environment. Okay, and the other thing is ear protection, right? If you're a professional driver, you know, one of the things that you want to keep handy in your car, like right there, right there next to you, right, is ear protection, right? Get the electronic ones. The electronic ones basically they dim the sound. Now, naturally, do I carry that in my car? No, because I don't do security work. I'm not in a high-risk environment. But if I was a professional bodyguard, yeah, you better believe I'd keep a pair of electronic earmuffs, really handy, like right next to me. I'd always be driving with eye protection on because that's my job, right? I'm carrying a gun, right? Well, if I'm carrying a gun, this type of a gun, right? With extra magazines, right? Because I'm doing like high-risk work. I mean, you're doing high-risk work, yeah, you're going to want glasses, you're going to want to have those electronic ears. It just doesn't make sense if you're doing that kind of work professionally to have some of the protective gear with you, but not have like the rest of the protective gear. So you want to have all your protective gear with you. So that includes guns, glasses, earmuffs, okay? So I hope you guys found this information useful, interesting, entertaining. And here's the thing, very important, something I always tell people, I have not invented any of this stuff, okay? Everything that I tell you guys, I have learned from other people who do this work, who have been in combat zones, who have done, security detail in places like in Iraq, in Afghanistan, who have worked as bodyguards in those places. So I don't invent anything, okay? I copy, okay? I learn from other people's experiences, okay? So everything I told you guys, I have learned from people who have actually done that kind of work. So I hope it's useful to you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. I'm also gonna put a link below in the description area. So if you guys want to go over to Craft Holsters and check out this holster, take it home with time. One of the nice things I like about this, it's easy on, easy off. Because to take this holster off, on my belt, I gotta take the whole belt off. With this, you can see how easy it goes on, easy off. One thing you're gonna definitely want to do is you're gonna want to Loctite the little rivet screws over here, right? Because those will definitely come loose if you don't Loctite it. In fact, I would probably recommend, now that I've seen this holster, I would recommend that if you order this holster, I would put a memo, like a note, asking for them to send you additional, at least 2 extra of the rivets, screw rivets that in case you lose these or they fall out at some point. So I would request that at the time that you place the order. It will probably become very useful to you. And again, make sure if you're a really tall guy, tell them your height so that they give you enough strap. Okay. But this is a really cool holster. I really like it. Definitely something I'm gonna wear if I want to impress people. If I'm going to a gun range, and I want people to see me and see my cool holster. So anyway, I'm going on and on now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.